Hey folks, today we're looking at a Marlin Model 60. I picked this up on the internet. When I got it home I found out we're missing some pieces, a couple pieces are broken. So I got the day off and I was going to spend some time working on it. What I'm going to do is, the feed throat that came with it had a broken lifter stop. I'm not exactly sure what that's called, but it's basically this piece right here, if you can see that. It was completely broken out, and whoever owned it before me had continued to shoot it after it was broken, so it wasn't feeding, and they probably put close to a couple hundred rounds through, because it was pretty filthy when I looked in there. When I got it, it had this stock here. It's this chipmunk stock. It's a really nice looking stock, and I wish that the wood was in better shape, but whoever had it before me just didn't take care of it. As you can see, the stock is very cracked. Here, I'm just going to remove this. I was actually missing one of the screws too, but I got it at such a good deal, I figured I'd put some work into it. I have another one of these rifles right here, and they shoot like a dream. I love the 16 groove micro rifling. It's just a great rifle, excellent price. Excellent price. I had that in this ATI stock here. It's the ATI Fiber Force stock, and I really like that, but because I had the original stock for that, and this one's in such bad shape, I figure I'll put this one in that stock and that one back in the original. So to get started here, there's a couple screws like you already seen. This comes out. There's a screw here, a screw back here, and that's just self-explanatory. One more screw going through the stock to take out the receiver and the barrel right there. And that just comes right out just like that. And like I said, as you can see, this stock is just worthless as is. Maybe I'll do another video in the future of trying to repair that, but it might be beyond repair. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting this feed throat out. Now that's this piece right here. In order to get this apart, there's two sets of screws that need to come out. One of them is actually a pin and a screw. These two are just actually screws that come out. So I'll get my screwdriver and get this opened up. And normally, if you're just doing routine cleaning and maintenance, you don't really want to go too far beyond taking off the firing pin assembly and all that. This is almost as far as you want to go, actually. And as you can see, that comes out like that. There's two of them. This comes here. Because actually, there's a whole bunch of little tiny small parts in there that if you don't remember how to put them back in, it's actually kind of difficult. There is a specific order that they need to come back together, and if you can't remember what you did when you took it apart, you're never going to get it back together. Trust me, I know that from experience. This comes out just like that, and like I said, normally you don't want to take it down any further than this. As you can see in there, there's just tons of tiny little small parts. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose some. It's just how it works. But today, we actually need to replace this. Now, if you look on this piece, there's actually four prongs, two on this side, two on this side. But this is such an old model. This is back before they used the four prongs. They only used they only used three. On this side, there's the one, and there's the second. On this side, there's only the one. So something's going to need to be done. We got a couple options. One, we can use this as a guide to drill out another hole on here. That'd accomplish what we're looking to do. Or you can grind off one of these posts. Now, just because of it's a lot easier, and I don't have a drill press at the moment, I'm just going to be grinding off one of the posts. There may be a little bit of fitting after that, but there's no way that I can know. It is February in North Dakota right now, so pretty cold outside. That's why we're working in my dining room and not in my garage. But anyway, back to it. Looking at this is what I'm talking about. This lifter is supposed to be stopped by a piece that goes across right here. You can see it on this piece right there. It's a solid bar, and on this one there's just nothing. stopping this. So this spring is actually supposed to go here. This spring right here is actually supposed to go underneath the lifter. And if there isn't anything to stop it, there's nothing stopping the spring from just flying out. So that's what we're replacing today. And that's what we're taking care of. I'm just going to get this out of the way. And let's get into this. Now to take this thing apart, it's not too hard at all. Really, all it is just a couple pins. There's some I forget what these things are called at the moment, but you just need to push them out, and the whole thing just kind of comes apart, kind of like a sandwich. And you kind of want to treat it like a sandwich when you're taking it apart, because otherwise it'll just go flying off. So you can lose pieces like that. So you want to be very careful doing this so as not to scratch it up and ding it up. Like so. Now the things that I want to do is I want to relieve all the spring tension. I want to make sure that in the hammer spring, I think that's called, there's a hole in the rod, and I want to put this wire into there so that pieces don't go flying out once I take this plate off. So I'm going to do that right now. So let's start to get this spring tension off. What I'll do is first I'll get the sear spring off, just like that, and next I will release the hammer, holding it so that it doesn't break anything, and you'll see that wire catch just like so. I'll show you that. Took me a while to figure that out. That's a good handy little trick to know. Once I do that, after those little C pieces, those little, I forget what those are called, the eyelets or something, once those are out, this should just come off, and the whole plate should just come right off, and with all the spring tension removed, hopefully nothing's going to fly out. It shouldn't. There, and one more. Now you'll see these are just held in by pins that go all the way across, like so. And we have the plate off. Once we have the plate off, we can just start to take things apart. If you go any further than this, remember exactly what order you took things apart. In fact, some of this stuff I don't even recommend that you do at your own house, because if a piece goes flying, you're out some money, because it's going to cost you some money to replace it. So all that we're interested in today is this piece right here. That's the feed throat. So I'm going to remove that right now, and it should just pop right off and come out of the lifter, and I'm going to get this out of my workspace. And here's what I'm talking about. If you look on here, on this one, it has 2 on the left side and 1 on the right side. The one they sent me has 2 on the left side and 2 on the right side. So one of those is going to need to be removed. I'm going to do that with a Dremel tool and a draw file, and it's going to take a lot of time. I'm not going to put that all in the video, but you get what I'm saying. I just need to remove that post so it's flush with the rest of it, and there may be a little minor fitting required, but because I won't be able to get it out into the range to shoot until the weather starts to get a little bit warmer. It is North Dakota. It is frigidly cold outside, and I can wait. So I'll get to doing that, and as soon as that's done, I will be back with you, and hopefully it turns out well. Alright folks, I started this project at about 1 o'clock. It is now about 5:15. There's quite a bit of actual fitting that needs to be done in order to get this piece to work. If you can see on there, I already have ground that post down, but once installed, I found out that, where is it here? Found out that the lifter itself isn't
factory compatible with this particular part. They did an update, and I did actually have to remove some material on the lifter where it comes into contact with this bar. On the old version, which is somewhere around here too, right here, there actually isn't a bar on the bottom, and on the new version there is. So left with the choice, I could either have removed the bar or modified the lifter, and I chose to modify the lifter because it looks like that actually kind of has some structural integrity to it. I'm not going to dink around with that too much. So I'm going to put this thing back together now. As you can see, I got parts all over the place. It's just kind of a mess here. You can see that this has been quite a deal. With that being said, I wouldn't recommend just anybody just doing this. This actually took quite a bit of fitting and working and putting it back together and taking it back apart. If you don't have the time to do something like this, I would highly recommend just taking it to a gunsmith, especially if you have one of these older model Marlins.